Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know I say this in every video, but I am so beyond words excited. Like every single video excites me, let's just be honest. But I am finally testing out these two dupes. I have heard dupe rumors of these on the internet for the longest time, and I am so excited to own both of them finally. So I have the Estee Lauder Double Wear on this half of my face for the high-end foundation versus the Revlon Coloursay on this half of my face as my more affordable, like lower end foundation that still performs absolutely amazingly. So if you want to see these two wear tested side by side for like 12-ish, I'll try to go for more, but like let's just say 12 hours, then keep watching. Okay, so as is my usual style with these side-by-side foundation videos, I have gone through my entire full face routine of how I put on my foundation. I'm just gonna do what I usually do, which means usually I don't use primer. I know that's not really good, but like I tend to just be in a hurry and like skip it or forget it or whatever. So I am just going to slip in the demo part of these two foundations as I am talking right now. So I'm gonna try to remember what I did in like voiceover sort of, but like walk you through the steps basically. So I did go in with the Revlon Coloursay on half of my face, and that is the foundation that I put on first. I do have it in the shade 410 Cappuccino. I have very dry skin, but I did have to get the combination oily one because this has a right undertone for me. The normal to dry skin Cappuccino is a very pink, very red based undertone, which just looks completely gray and dead on me. But as you can see, this yellow undertone just looks absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. Like, I'm so happy because this is the first time I'm actually wear testing this particular formula. I know with the normal to dry skin formula, it works amazingly. I have dry skin, that makes sense. But this is the combo oily skin, and considering that the Estee Lauder Double Wear is actually meant for oily skin, I feel like it's kind of fair to put them side by side. I always go in with a maximum of one pump on half my face just because I do use 2 pumps of the Revlon on my entire face and get enough coverage, enough banging finish, like go for the day. So I tend to not go overboard with the coverage, but it is very, very buildable. I did go in with a little bit more than 1 pump because I kind of poured out a bit more of the Estee Lauder, and I really wanted to balance out the quantity that I'm using. And on the other half of my face, I did go in with the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I absolutely love this foundation. I do have it in the shade 6W2 Nutmeg because Sephora matched me to 6W1, and that is way too light for me. Like I went into a store and swatched it and it was comically light. So I went into the 6W2, which most days is my shade. I feel like it does go on a little bit light. As you can see, it does go on a little bit lighter than the Revlon Coloursay, but it does sort of oxidize to my perfect skin tone. So I'm really not complaining. As you can see now, the color is absolutely perfect. It looks exactly the same as Revlon Coloursay, which did on my hand especially look a lot darker than the Estee Lauder, but it does sort of warm up and match my skin tone. And as you can see in the demo, it actually looked so much more glowy than the Revlon Coloursay, but I guess it was kind of still wet because I did give it a few minutes and I go off and do my eyes and my brows and whatever, and by the time I was done with all of that, it did dry down to like the same kind of satiny finish that the Revlon Coloursay gives me. So they both have a pretty similar finish right off the bat. The only thing that I will say is that the Estee Lauder is a lot more sticky than the Revlon Coloursay right off the bat, but as it dries down, then their level of stickiness is the same, and they're both just a little bit sticky. Like they're not foundations that dry down completely matte and like powdery finish, you know. They are a satiny glowy finish, and I absolutely love that. But I did powder down. I did go in with concealer underneath my eyes. I set that with my Laura Mercier powder because that is my go-to under eye powder of like life, and then I set all over my face with my black opal finishing powder, which I absolutely adore because it just blurs out every single imperfection. One thing that I have noticed is that neither of these foundations really help with pores. So if you have a lot of pores like I do around my cheek area right here, I would definitely say go in with a pore filling primer. Pore filling primer. Those are the words. Yes, go in with a pore filling primer. I have the Benefit Professional on the way, and I am so beyond words excited. But yes, basically I just did the rest of my face. I did my eyes, something a bit different. I've never really done this look before, and I am absolutely feeling it. If you want to see the full tutorial, it will be on Instagram. My Instagram handle is somewhere on the screen right now. But yeah, I did go in with a couple of different eyeshadow palettes on my eyes. My e.l.f. blush, as always, which is a powder blush. my Anastasia powder contour because absolutely love it. That is my holy grail. And then another product that I was playing with for really like the second or third time in this video is my Kevyn Aucoin mini. I absolutely adore this highlighter. I am the biggest fan of Kevyn Aucoin basically like that has ever existed, like of life. You don't even understand. And they were kind enough to send me their like mini trio holiday collection set, and I absolutely adore it. The only one that I was like dying for, like I could not wait, like I literally would have walked to them to basically pick it up, is the absolute first one, which is what I used in the video today as my highlighter. And as you can see, it just gives you such an earthreal glow. But the Kevyn Aucoin products always just melt into my skin and look absolutely fantastic. So I just really wanted to throw that in here because I feel like a lot of us dark skinned people look at these colors and you're like, oh no, this won't look good on me. These will look amazing on us. Do you see this glow? Like even though it's a white, like straight up white powder with like bluish, pinkish, like purplish reflects in it, it still looks absolutely stunning on me. It doesn't look too icy, it doesn't look too washed out, it doesn't look ashy whatsoever. I feel like half of this glow on my face is the Kevyn Aucoin palette, and I feel like it was really important for me to include that in the demo because I wanted you to see that neither of these foundations is getting greasy. I just like to always be glowing. That is literally my motto in life, is like always be glowing and glow to like the heavens basically. But I haven't really put a dramatic highlight today. I just really wanted that overall earthreal glow because this is my everyday routine. This is my everyday like go-to look. So I really wanted to see how these foundations perform with my everyday situation incorporated, you know? So yeah, absolutely love these. Pick them up. And oh my gosh, as you saw the first time I showed it to you, it is a mini. So these are 3 separate minis and they are, obviously they come with the mirrors, they are magnetically connected. Like I feel like Rihanna just started that vibe and like everyone picked up on it because this is super cool. Like so cool. Look at that, so cool. So yeah, if you do want to have, especially because the Kevyn Aucoin pants are so gigantic to begin with, but yeah, if you want to have something a bit more reasonable, because I don't see myself going through this in at least 2 years, you know, because you use the tiniest amount. It does have 2 different finishes on it, and I know it looks a little bit ashy when I swatch it on my hand, but I promise you, as you can see on my face, it just looks fantastic. So this definitely worth picking up, especially if you like to glow like I do. That's basically it for this demo intro part of this video. I'm gonna go off and like live my life, go through my day. I don't know how many check-ins I'll actually have in this video, but I will be back in the next clip for my next check-in, so I'll see you there. So it is now basically 1 a.m, which means it's been just over 13 hours that I've had both these foundations on my face, and I feel like this is gonna be the shortest check-in ever because A, I am exhausted, B, I come in with my spectacles for those of us who wear spectacles or shades, and C, they basically look exactly the same, like exactly the same on both sides, and they look pretty much identical to how they did 12 hours ago when I first put this on. I did put this on at 11:45 a.m, so it is now 12:59 basically, so it is over 13 hours that I've had these on my face. And can I just give you a close-up of how good these look? Do you see how fantastic they look? Yes, I will acknowledge that the area around my nose is completely messed up because I have been wearing my spectacles for the past 12 hours straight, and this little weird indent here seems to be worse on the Estee Lauder side than on the Revlon side. And I feel like because the Revlon is a bit more emollient, I can kind of pat that back into place, whereas the Estee Lauder, once it dries down, it like dries in place. So you can't really move the foundation around to fix any errors. You have to go back in with a bit more foundation, but it is pretty easy to fix with like a small eyeshadow brush. You just dab it in that spot and you're sorted, you know? I'm really not gonna say much because both sides look fantastic. Yes, I am looking a little bit more glowy than I was 12 hours ago, but for me, this is still perfectly acceptable. I just look healthy, I just look glowy, I don't look greasy or sweaty or overly oily. Like even in the monitor, I don't think it looks terrible, like to the point where I need to blot it. Yes, I can blot it, but as you can see, the foundation hasn't moved around whatsoever. So even when I blot it, it will still look flawless. So I am going to call it right here and say that these two are 100% dupes of each other. The Revlon has held up exactly to the T of how the Estee Lauder has like held up. I feel like the entire situation is as it was 12 hours ago, so the pores around my cheek areas are still very much showing. Like, that hasn't been helped whatsoever. I can't just blot down just to show you what it looks like when blotted. So that has made a difference on the Revlon side, blotting it down, because you can see that it is a lot less glowy. So I guess it was a little bit shiny. But can we just take a look at the tissue paper, please, and see how there is basically like 3% transfer as opposed to like the 100% that's usually there with every other foundation that I have. You can just barely see foundation on this white piece of tissue, and that is freaking amazing. So the Revlon is basically a no transfer foundation. Let me blot the Estee Lauder side just so we can see if we can say the same about it. Yep, same thing, barely any trace of foundation on the tissue. And you can see that the blotting has helped. So if you are like a super matte loving person, definitely blot it down. But I love the glow. I love that even after it's been blotted, it does still have a satiny glowy finish to it. What I did not mention before is that both of them feel so lightweight on my face. I did go in with a super heavy moisturizer underneath them, so I guess that kind of helped with my dry skin for them to not feel like too dry and like they're sucking the life out of my face. So if you do have dry skin and you want to wear either one of these foundations, definitely try that out, because I've heard people complain that they feel heavy on the skin, but I guess that just happens when you put too much foundation. I used very little, the equivalent of one pump on each half of my face, and banging results. So do I recommend the Revlon Coloursay over the Estee Lauder? I think because of the price point, $42 versus $10. The fact that the Coloursay comes with a pump, the Estee Lauder you have to buy a pump from MAC, which is an extra $10. Like, it's a lot of things that are working against the Estee Lauder. I absolutely love it. I absolutely see why people love it so much, because I feel like I needed to go in with less product on the Estee Lauder side to get the same amount of coverage that one pump gave me on the Revlon side. But I did just put it all on my face. Everything that I pumped out went on my face, and as you can see, it looks freaking fantastic. So right now I can't really tell that one side has more coverage than the other, though I feel like if I was nitpicking and I had to look like really close, I would say that the Estee Lauder has more coverage with the same amount of products than the Revlon Coloursay. But other than that, I feel like both of them are so buildable, both of them look flawless. You really couldn't go wrong with either one of them, and if you are on a budget, definitely go for the Revlon Coloursay, because it performs exactly the same. We have a 13-hour wear test to prove it. Most people's days are 13 hours long. I would go to 18 hours, but I'm exhausted. Love my Estee Lauder, but I think I will be sticking to my Revlon Coloursay for a while. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you have any questions, any clarifications you'd like, and subscribe so you can be notified, and notifications. Turn on notifications so you can be notified when I post up a new video, and I'll see you in my next one.